Hi, thanks for joining. I'm Michael Lee from Suprema. I'm a product manager. I've been working at Suprema for now 6 years. Today, I would like to introduce our new product, the new X-Station 2. We'll go through the all aspects of the X-Station 2, review through the new features, and discuss what's going to come up next. So the content I've prepared today is going to be a simple introduction, explanation on the X-Station 2. As you may know, the X-Station 2 has a model with a QR sensor, QR model, a barcode model. And so I'm going to discuss how the QR and barcodes is going to be implemented in BioStar 2. Then I'll do a quick demonstration to show you how it works. First, this is the X-Station 2. It's a versatile terminal where it can read RFID, Suprema's new mobile access cards, and also QR barcodes. So this is one of our strengths that we assume that will be a big part of the sales in X-Station 2. So if I go through the first, the X-Station 2, I'll just explain the simple details. First, it supports multiple credentials, including QR barcode. This means it supports the existing, the simple ID and PIN, RFID, mobile access cards, and even fingerprint if you connect a fingerprint device as a slave device. I'll explain this more about later. It has a 4-inch LCD. It supports PoE. It also has a camera, so you can leave image logs for specific events. Also, it's outdoor installation supported by IP65. So as we have introduced, it is very versatile and it has many roles to be done as a access control or time attendance terminal. The capacity, you'll be already familiar. This is now coming our standard 500,000 user and cards. The card counting will include the QR barcodes. This will be explained later too. It also supports fingerprints, but as mentioned earlier, it needs to have a fingerprint device connected as a slave device, since this version of X-Station 2 does not have any fingerprint sensor. Text logs, image logs, same as usual, 5 million, 50,000. Next, I would like to go early and explain that we're willing to increase the versatility of X-Station 2. And before we go through any details in QR barcode, which will be the most exciting part of this device, I'd like to let you know we're planning for a new device, which is an X-Station 2 with a fingerprint model. So this will be the same concept of the base station F2 having our own sensor connected to the bottom. The next is that we're planning to actually plant the BioStar 2 mobile app inside X-Station 2, so you can access your BioStar 2 server without having to enable the cloud using an actual mobile app. So this will help to do very simple operations, such as just locking a door, maybe enrolling a user directly from the device that will be synchronized to the BioStar 2 server. Next will be, the next will be that we're going to add some more various QR code reading options. This will be explained in the next chapter when I introduce you how we have implemented the QR codes into BioStar 2. Okay, for the next chapter, I'm going to explain how the QR code has been implemented into BioStar 2 system, and also the path that we have prepared. So the QR code in BioStar 2 system, we have 3 ways of doing it. So we have allowed to use existing QR codes or barcodes. We have a separate menu where we can actually issue the QR code from BioStar 2 to the user's emails directly. The third will be about using it as like a QR authentication with a third-party control panel. So if I start with the first, so the BioStar 2 provides like a credential, we call it QR, just QR, and this is where you can enter the actual content of the QR code. So this is mainly focused to support the QR codes that has been already issued through a different system, but has been already being used. since it has to work like a card from our side, we do have some limitations. The QR code, the string that holds inside the QR code, the maximum length will be 32 characters. And it has to be only printable ASCII characters. We are thinking of maybe adding a whole different type of way supporting maybe Unicodes. We are designing it, and once we get any details that can be shared, you know right away. The next will be the issuing the QR codes directly from BioStar 2. So we call this the BioStar 2 QR, and it follows the structure of one of our smart card structures. So it's not encrypted, but it's really hard to just figure out what's inside. So we create this card ID inside BioStar 2, then the BioStar 2 will create a QR code image and send it to the user's email directly. You just need to have the settings done for the SMTP server. This is more close to a daily basis usage. You can use your smartphone because it will send you the QR code directly to your smartphone. You can store the image on your side, you can use it. Maybe you can print it also on a badge or maybe on a temporary access, let's say, license, and then you can use it right away from there. The third part will be using the X-Station 2 with a third-party controller. Yes, it can be done. Things will be sent out through Wiegand or RS-45. But for now, it's really focused on the BioStar 2 QR codes. Actually, just the QR mode that we support for existing QR codes are not that ready for being used as a card and then send the data through the third-party controller. I'll explain why. Since we adopted just to read as printable ASCII codes, it will be sending out exactly what it reads. So even though you created a QR code as 1, 2, 3, 4, it's actually an ASCII, and it's a very 8-digit ASCII, a hexadecimal number. If you translate this into decimal on the right, then it will be a totally different number that you have actually intend to use. So this is a limitation now, but definitely we are going to add modes where it only reads QR codes in decimals, hexadecimals. We're going to have an option to where you can select if the QR code has been encoded using base 64, which is kind of common technique that will be to make it complicated while the QR code is actually quite simple. Well, this is the QR that I've explained. The next will be using the QR codes issued from BioStar 2. This you'll not have any problems because at the beginning we only allow numbers. So if you issue a BioStar 2 QR as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you'll get the output as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on Wiegand or RS-45. As you can see, we don't allow characters to use, also actually special characters, alphabets to be used in the BioStar 2 QR, so you'll not be able to issue it. So there's actually going to be no output here. So this is the basic explanation on what's the X-Station 2 and which path it's going. The next will be to do a demonstration. Let's look at the device screen first. So you'll see this is the X-Station 2. You'll see there's a small difference in the icons because the X-Station 2 actually has a model with the QR, but also has a model without the QR, just a card terminal with an LCD screen. I won't go into the details. I just want to let you know, excuse me, if you want to issue a QR code through BioStar 2, you need to have the SMTP settings done here. So if you have your own SMTP server, you can put in the credentials here, just put any name, maybe if you need, you can put a description, address, port, credentials, security type, and definitely you will also always have to put on the sender. And then from here, you can use it for the visual face mobile enrollment, but today we're going to use it for the QR. So just simply click QR. You can input the title of the email that the user will receive. You can put in your company name and contact. So if you go to the user clean, I will add, I'll let me with my email address. And you can see on the right, you'll see the new credential type as QR and barcode. So if you see here, you'll be able to see just normal QR barcode or a BioStar 2 QR. So this part, if you go first, so since this is a menu, a credential type to use the already issued QR codes or barcodes, we do not provide any scan methods because it really doesn't make sense to actually use the QR to actually scan the QR to enroll it. So we can just put it in here, but differently, BioStar 2, it didn't allow any characters, but as I said, it allows printable ASCII characters. So you can see here, I've already made a QR code as a capital A123. I'll enroll this, and on the bottom you'll see a new QR barcode added, having an ID of A123. So I'll just apply this, and this means through the X-Station to my credentials has been sent. So you see here, there's this QR code, and you'll see that I got authenticated. So this is just a simple explanation, but it can be on any kind of like hospitals having risks with QR codes or barcodes, any other credentials already being used with a QR code. You can just simply enroll it, not on one single at a time, but maybe you can use the CSV import to add all the credentials at once. The next sample that I would like to show is how the BioStar 2 QR code is used. So you can issue from here, you can change the type to BioStar 2 QR code. The card ID will be generated randomly, but you can also still use by entering manually. For this time, I'll just use the random number. So if you're going to issue from the BioStar 2, actually the card ID should be random. Or if you have any needs, then you can just put it as the ID you want. So this time I'll just use it as random. Now you can see I have two types of barcodes. This is the normal, this is just BioStar 2 QR. Now if we if I click apply from here, you'll see it's created. It's going to show a new QR code has been sent via email. So I put in my email. I will show you the screen, but I'll actually create one more user, Willis, so you can check your email on your side. Wait. So IDTECK.com. Am I correct? I believe I am. And then I will add. So if I was correct, Willis, you'll be able to receive a QR code through email. So if you have time later, you can check, or you can check now. What I will do is I will check my email from here. As you can see from here, it has arrived 3:26 p.m. Yep, 27 minutes past 3. So you can see it has arrived. What I will do is I'll download this image from my smartphone and do an authentication. So you can use it from your smartphone. You can use it as a printed QR code. Let's see. So I've mentioned about the camera. So what I will do is I'll enable the image log feature and show you that it just works. Oh, it was actually already there. So what I will do is access granted. And you can have it on a larger screen. So as we mentioned, it is quite versatile. So this is basically the very features I've wanted to show. I believe in all of our devices, it's just going to be there all the time. Okay. All right. Well, before any, I'll answer some questions. Yes, it's quite dense. Actually, we're adjusting the size. So if you just wait a couple weeks, then we'll maybe have a better version. The second question is the byte order of the QR data. It's not there yet, but it's coming. We're going to separate this byte order that follows the card byte order. So we're going to separate it to have it one byte order option for the card and another for the QR code, so it doesn't really have any impact on each other. So yes, we actually have, I believe it was you, Willis, that we really received that there was a site using the cards in LSB that had effect on the X-Station 2. So yes, we're definitely going to change the structure on that. So there's another question. Any plans to support user-defined encryption method AUS 256 with their own key, for example? Yeah, there is a plan, but this is a bit behind of what we have planned earlier. So as I said, we're going to make more options for reading QR codes. After that is then adopting the encryption keys. So even though using with the QR codes, the data inside will remain safe. It is on the roadmap. To be honest, it's hard to say when at this moment, but we'll be able to answer it once we release the first enhancement of the X-Station 2 during the third quarter. Today, we shared a very quick introductions and some Q&As and demonstrations. Afterwards, I believe we will have much more time to share some details. Once again, I would really like to thank you for joining this session, and I had a very great time. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you again.